What is up, y'all? Welcome back to episode 72 of That's No Moon Pod. This past weekend was May the 4th. Hope y'all had a great May the 4th be with y'all. With that came a brand new trailer for The Acolyte, and we got a brand new mini series, Tales of the Empire, that also dropped 6 episodes. And I want to talk about the newest X-Men 97 episode that just dropped today as well, the penultimate. I guess I'll start with X-Men 97 since it's pretty fresh on my mind. Um, again, the consistency with this show has been incredible. Each episode seems like it just gets better and better. The character development, the fact that they're able to have all these different characters with different storylines, but it never feels like it's rushed or out of place. Uh, the big setup, I feel like what they're doing for the season finale is going to be a banger. Not a whole lot of Bastion in this episode, but this one was really dealing with the internal struggles between the X-Men. Last week we had Professor Xavier return right as soon as the whole mansion went up in flames and pretty much everything went crazy with the whole Bastion, human sentinels killing so many people, and Magneto doing the whole global EMP, pretty much just causing major destruction around the whole entire planet. So, this episode, I was wondering what exactly was going to be the major conflict, and what it really comes down to is just that classic old tale from the X-Men where Professor X, he's trying to keep the peace amongst the whole group, and especially with Magneto always being that rebellious one who doesn't see what Charles Xavier is trying to accomplish with trying to get the whole mutant side alongside with the humans. Magneto always sees the evil that the humans do against the mutants, and he always takes the mutant side no matter what. And we see the return of Magneto in full form, full costume, and he's pretty much giving the X-Men an ultimatum saying, look, I'm going to go through with this plan no matter what any of y'all say or what Professor X says. If you want to join me and stand with me, you can. And we see that Rogue and Sunspot decide to go with Magneto on this mission. And that pretty much leaves the rest of the X-Men having to find Sinister and Bastion's lair to hopefully put an end to all this. And we get the return of Storm and Forge returning with the group. Storm's got her whole new outfit and powers fully formed. And they're basically just trying to come up with this plan to hopefully save the whole planet, if you will. Um, the action in this whole episode was top notch. It seemed like everyone got their moment of shine. Um, I just love like the small details that they put, just these small moments you have with Nightcrawler and Rogue. You get like that whole sister type of relationship with Jean Grey and Storm at moments. Um, Wolverine has a huge moment in this episode, which I'll get to. Uh, Cable seems like he's finally starting to build that bond between him and his dad, Cyclops, and he gets the whole get up with the X-Men outfit, and they had that funny line where um, Cyclops gives Cable the X-Men suit, and Cable makes a joke about being in the circus or something, and Cyclops is like, "What did you expect? Black leather outfits?" It's like a funny nod to the older X-Men movies that we got with their whole get up with the whole black leather outfits was funny. Uh, just the dialogue, the show is just so well written. Uh, the villains, everything seems menacing, um, and they've done a nice job setting up this whole show with, you don't feel like anyone is safe. You feel like any moment someone's gonna eat it. Not everyone's gonna make it out of this alive, and it's not gonna be how the Bad Batch was with a happy ending. This is probably gonna go bad. It's already gone bad with the whole Genosha and seeing what happens to Gambit. And this one leaves us with some really big cliffhangers because we see that moment to where it looks like Jean Grey might have been taken out, and the final cliffhanger that it leaves us with is when the X-Men are standing there, Magneto's getting ready to do something, and Charles Xavier is trying to get them to get Magneto's helmet off so that he can control his mind and stop him. And Wolverine swoops in, stabs Magneto in the back with the claws, and Magneto's pretty much like, I didn't want to have to do this, but I'm gonna tear you to shreds. And we see him pretty much just tearing out all the adamantium out of Wolverine, leaving us to think that, is he dead? Did Magneto just kill Wolverine right there and then? Um, and I thought that was such a crazy way to end the episode, setting us up for the season finale. Is Jean dead? Is Wolverine actually dead? Uh, I'm hoping the final episode is almost an hour long. I'm hoping it's longer than 20 something minutes than what they've been giving us. Because I still feel like they still got a lot to kind of wrap up here in this season. Um, it's pretty much a guarantee that the season two is gonna be coming, but again, there wasn't a whole lot of Bastion in this one, um, and I still feel like they have a lot to resolve with each character. Um, but I'm glad that they're taking points from different story arcs from different comic books and kind of tie it into this season, and they're doing such a good job with it. Um, it's just showing how the X-Men are such a great cast of characters to be able to tell on screen. And if they're able to implement any of this sort of like integrity into a live action movie anytime soon, or any kind of live action TV show, um, it's just going to get people that much more excited going forward with Marvel. Um, the X Men have always been such a popular cast of superheroes, and I think just the momentum that they have right now with this show, I haven't heard anyone talking bad about it. It seems like everyone who's watching it is really digging it, especially if you're a hardcore X Men fan. I think they're really doing justice by the characters and the storylines that they're telling. But they're setting us up nicely for a season finale next week. I can't wait. Let me know what y'all thought of this week's episode. Um, Again, May the 4th was last week, or last weekend rather. And I'll talk about the Tales of the Empire real quick. I thought this whole series was fine. I thought it was a good, you know, thing to give us coming off of the series finale of the Bad Batch. The first three episodes, we follow Morgan Elsbeth, a younger version of her, and I thought the first episode really set a nice tone. We get to see her on her home planet on Dathomir, and General Grievous coming down and just pretty much wreaking havoc to the entire planet and her people. Um, and I was curious because I know there's a comic book to where um, Darth Maul, he's on Dathomir, and General Grievous comes down and he ends up killing Darth Maul's mom. And they kind of do a little thing to where instead of we're seeing Darth Maul's mom get killed, we're seeing Grievous take out Morgan Elsbeth's mom, and that pretty much just sets her on this path of revenge and hatred, and where we wind up seeing her in the Mandalorian in Ahsoka, and why pretty much who she is and how she became that way. Um, we see her interacting with Thrawn, and Thrawn pretty much seeing the potential in her and recruiting her to, help eventually take over the galaxy once the whole empire falls and all that. Um, but the Morgan Elsbeth episodes, I thought were good. I don't necessarily think that we needed a whole backstory of Morgan Elsbeth, um, but it was still cool to see kind of how she becomes who she is to where we eventually see her in the live action shows. It's always cool to see Thrawn, um, but nice little backstory. The ones I was more hyped about were this whole Barriss Offee storyline, and because from the last time we saw Barriss Offee was in the Clone Wars, and she was the one who blew up the Jedi Temple. She was framing Ahsoka, um, and pretty much just turned on the Jedi um, completely. And that's pretty much where we see her in this new series, where she's in jail. She's looking down at the city and seeing Order 66 pretty much go down. And we see an Inquisitor come in, try to recruit her to eventually become a brand new Inquisitor. And she gets taken to the Inquisitor's home base on that ocean where we see in Kenobi. Um, and they put her through all these tests to try to wind up becoming one of the brand new Inquisitors. She, of course, ends up winning, and she gets selected. And we get a cool moment, a real quick moment with Darth Vader walking in, the Grand Inquisitor saying, meet y'all's new master. And no one can make an entrance like Darth Vader. He's like he's like the Undertaker. When you hear the gong go off, you know what's about to go down. You know who's coming in. I kind of just wish that they gave us a little bit more of that. Maybe a little bit more with the Grand Inquisitor and Darth Vader. Kind of felt it was a little bit of a clickbait to make us really want to watch the show. Throwing Darth Vader in the trailer. Um, but seeing Barriss Offee kind of go through all these internal struggles, we see her in the next episode, in episode 5, to where her and the Inquisitor that recruited her go on a mission to go find this Jedi that's supposedly hiding out on this planet. And they're questioning the people in the village. No one's speaking up. And Barriss Offee's able to get this kid to tell her where the Jedi is just by being who she is, just a nice person deep down. She doesn't really want to be doing all this. Uh, this whole Inquisitor gig was pretty much just for her to survive. Um, and then we see the Inquisitor that she's with just straight up evil, doesn't care about what she's doing, just full of rage. She takes out all the innocent people in the village, and they wind up climbing up a mountain and fighting this Jedi that's been hiding out. And they have this cool lightsaber fight up top, and Barriss Offee's fighting this Jedi, trying to say, "Look, I don't want to kill you. You don't have to die here. Just come with me. We'll take you in alive. It doesn't have to go down like this." And the Inquisitor that got bested in this fight, the evil one, swoops in from behind just as soon as this Jedi is willing to give up the saber and go with her. She gets sliced in the back, and Barriss Offee takes it upon herself to take out the Inquisitor and wind up help saving this Jedi. And she pretty much just gives up the whole Inquisitor gig right there and then. Um, and then the next final episode, we jump to Barriss Offee's older now. She's like on this ice snow planet, and this family comes in with a child who the Empire's after because this kid is force sensitive. And obviously, the Empire, everyone's trying to get any kind of force sensitive kid that they can. assuming to probably help the Emperor do the whole Project Necromancer and help do all these cloning testings on these high midichlorian count kids. And just seeing Barasafi now in this kind of stoic veteran Jedi, she's much wiser now. She's willing to help this family escape because the evil Inquisitor that Barasafi betrayed, she winds up finding them, and she's thinking, "I'm here to get that kid." Barasafi's like, "Go for it." They went into the mountain, but you go in that mountain, you're not gonna come out. And it's kind of like that whole Yoda Luke Skywalker test where Luke goes into the cave and um, pretty much just puts him through this whole mental challenge, trying to overcome any kind of mental obstacle that they might have. And she pretty much plays mind games because she lets that Inquisitor go into the mountain after the family. The family escapes, but inside, Barasafi's talking to this Inquisitor and pretty much playing mind games and trapping her inside, making her feel like she can't escape. But the only way to escape is pretty much just to let go of all the hatred and rage that she has. And she still winds up going berserk and striking down Barasafi, stabbing her in the chest. And Barasafi's pretty much saying, "Look, you still don't have to be like this. You know the way out, and the way out is to pretty much just give up all this hatred and you help me get out of here, and that's gonna help yourself get out of here as well." And that's some of my favorite stuff in Star Wars, to where they could kind of like have these mind control type deals to where it's so much more deeper than what you're given. This hatred, this rage, all these feelings that you have, and you just got to really let go and do what's really right. um, and that's pretty much the lesson that was learned from Barasafi to this Inquisitor. She gives up the lightsaber, the Inquisitor blade, and she winds up helping Barasafi get out of there. I don't know exactly what happens next after that. I kind of wish there was a little bit more though with both storylines with Morgan Elsbeth and Barasafi, especially seeing that again, last time we saw Barasafi, she had this such crazy storyline in the Clone Wars. Um, I kind of felt her storyline was a little bit rushed. Um, the Morgan Elsbeth stories were just kind of a nice little piece of history that we got. Um, but I do wish there was a little bit more to offer with Barasafi, because it seemed like she was in the Inquisitors, and then the next episode we see her pretty much just give it all up, and then the next episode, the final episode, she's dead pretty much. Um, so I do wish they would have given us a little bit more. Tales of the Jedi for sure was a way better series, um, but it was still nice to get that after the Bad Batch. Just a nice little gift for May the 4th. But also we got a brand new trailer for The Acolyte, and I wanted this trailer to really get me really excited for the show. Um, but I would just say that the trailer really just kind of got me more questioning what exactly is going to happen. Um, I'm cautiously optimistic still with the show. It's less than a month away, 2 episode premiere. Um, but the story, from what it seems like, they're saying someone's hunting the Jedi. It's this Jedi's former Padawan who went rogue. So she's force sensitive, and we see her fighting Carrie Ann Moss, and they have that cool hand to hand combat. And um, looks wise, I like the tone. It looks like it's darker. Um, just this kind of mystery thriller that's going on. Uh, it just seems like the storyline just seems like it's been done a lot. Um, we got this person that's gone rogue, and she's trying to take out everyone that she was with before, and everyone's trying to figure out why this person's doing this and who's really in control. Um, but yeah, again, this trailer kind of just left more reasoning to be cautiously optimistic. Um, the visuals look great. I think um, a lot of the set pieces look great. From what they said, they didn't use any volume in this show. A lot of it, most of it was on location. Um, and that final shot to what everyone's been really talking about in the show, we finally see a close up of the person who is wielding and throws the red lightsaber. And it kind of looks like a Knights of Ren style character. Um, they have like that Joker who laughs kind of look to it, kind of where the mouth of Sauron kind of, to where it's just like this big smiley face on this black suited character. Um, I'm curious to see how that all plays out and who exactly this person is. Because everyone's been talking about it. The Sith shouldn't be around at this point, and if they are, then that pretty much means that every single Jedi who comes in contact or knows of this person pretty much has to eat it. Um, because the timeline just wouldn't make sense. Um, they got to do something big because whether they're able to make it into Darth Plagueis or someone of that stature that everyone knows of, and not completely disregarding what was already set up and said in previous movies. Um, because the least amount of people that they piss off by disregarding different things that was already set up, it's gonna do a lot better for this show. Um, People are already hating on it, and it hasn't even came out yet, and people are wanting to hate on it. Um, I'm not taking that stance. I'm just being again cautiously optimistic because so far Star Wars and Lucasfilm hasn't given me a reason not to be like that. Um, there have been plenty of times to where the trailer looks great, um, and the whole setup is there with Book of Boba Fett, Kenobi show, all the sequel trilogies. Um, Even Ahsoka, Mando season 3 kind of fell short on expectations. Um, so I don't blame anyone for feeling a certain type of way about the show before it even comes out. It's just this show has so much pressure on it because if it's not good or if it just doesn't make sense or discredits a lot of what was already set up, um, you're already digging a hole too deep, and it might be too deep that it might be too late to get out of. Um, I was hoping that we're gonna get at least a teaser trailer for the Skeleton Crew. That's supposed to come out this year as well. Um, but until I feel like Andor season 2 comes out, Star Wars is gonna be in this kind of limbo of where if the show is good, then I don't think anyone's gonna be able to deny it. But um, the show is just coming out after all these disappointments from Star Wars. I think really puts it at a disadvantage. Um, if this show would have came out years ago, I mean, 3 4 years ago, I think people would have been super excited about it. Just the fact that we're getting so many Jedi and there's so many lightsabers, and we're actually going to get lightsaber fights. Um, but I just think the least that the showrunners say until the show comes out and just let the show speak for itself, that's just going to be the only way for people to get on board with it. Um, but again, until it comes out, I'm not going to say anything bad about it. I'm just Again, cautiously optimistic. Um, I'm keeping my excitement level at a minimum, and I'll give my thoughts on it when it comes out. We got less than a month now, but y'all let me know what y'all thought of the trailer, what y'all thought of Tales of the Empire, X-Men '97, still rolling hot. Season finale next week. I can't wait, y'all. Um, I'm gonna be posting comic books on my IG and Snapchat still, new releases, variant covers, all that. Links will be down in the description. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next episode, y'all. Y'all stay safe, and I'll catch y'all on the flip. Peace.